the name of God, welcome back, guys. In this episode, I'm going to teach you about Paneling Tools plugin. As I mentioned it earlier, this plugin would help us to create four-sided networks with the help of the points. And we can have those networks of points in 2 or 3-dimensional, and then apply our patterns in those flat or 3D networks. Actually, to use this plugin, the first thing we should go to the setup, and based on the Rhino that we use, whether it's 5 or 6, we double click on the setup file, and after pressing next, we wait for the file to be installed, and then we press close, and then we should open and close Rhino software. And now we can see the tab of this plugin is added here. And also, if we wanted to have it as an icon, we go to the Tool tab and then Toolbar Layout, and to the File part, we choose Paneling Tools. And we put different parts of this plugin into our background. As an example, I bring Create Grid, and then I can drag it and put it here. Or I can move it from this part to be a completely separate thing for me. Now here, as we wanted to actually teach you, and you gotta see the names of the tools, and we prefer to see the names instead of icons, we use the menu here. In the first part, we're going to discuss different methods and different ways of creating our networks of points. For this, from the Paneling Tools part, and then create Paneling Grid. And this part, we can create the networks of points. Now we're gonna explain each of these tools. On the first part, we have actually array option, and I can with choosing this option, let's go to the top view, determining the start of our point. For example, I turn on Grid Snap, and from the center 0 0, I order it to create me a grid network. I clicked once. There is a preview of that network, and there are options. The options that we're discussing now might be the same in this part, create paneling grid, So I'm gonna tell them once, and after this, then I will not mention them in detail. In UNumber part, we have the number of points in UX. As you can see, we have now here UNumber 10. We can click on it and change the number of it, like 15. As you can see, when we put the number in this part and we organize the numbers of points from 1 to 15. But the number of squares that is created is 1 less. In this situation that our U number is 15 and our V number is 10, we have 14 and 9 units of cells in which our pattern could be located on. U here is on the X line for us, and V is on the Y line. We can change these grids from V point and U point. For example, I put V number on 12. And as you can see, there are 2 rows of points. From US spacing and VS spacing, we can organize the distance between points. I, for example, put US spacing on like 2. See, the distance is double. Or it could be 1.5. Likewise, in web spacing, we can choose favorable distance. In the next part, actually, we have U direction and V direction. As you can see, now in default state, we have U direction on Z axis and V direction on Y axis. I can click on every one of these actually directions. Like I say, the direction that I want U direction points on it should be like this. Like this. Or even I can change V direction like this. So I can change the coordinate axis. Now I am clicking on V direction like this. So it doesn't need to be a right angle. Again, I click on U direction and I set it as default. And this should be like this. The next option that we're gonna talk about is Z offset. Guys, as you can see, each raw is moved in Z direction. For example, we could in Z, we could put it on 0. So then we can have it in 2-dimensional. Or other types of number like 25 100th. And as we can see, each raw changes the height according to the number that we gave to it. And in this part, we put it on 0. The next option that we're going to talk about is the option of group. When I confirm the command by right-clicking, we see that our points are created as a group. And if I put it on no group, my points would be separated. I highly recommend you to put this option on yes, because choosing these points would be easier. The last thing is name of grid, which can organize the naming of these grids. And then it says that name of grid start with G, and we put this G here. I choose the grid that I made here, and here in type part it says that 180 points grouped. Then I ungrouped it and then I click on one of these points. As you can see, the name of the point is G, and there are 2 parentheses, which is the number of row and column is created. G, 0 and 0. And the next one is G, 0 and 1. Third row and first column, like row 0 and fourth column. Or G, 3 and 0. Row 3 and column 0. The names are important. I cannot say that the place of this and this gotta be changed, because when it wants to create a pattern and attach the different points together, it finds the nearby points according to these names. And now I'm gonna give you examples. I'm gonna change the points. For example, I mirror them, I scale them, and then we will see the result together. If you wanted to look at this plugin in a general way, we create a network of points, and then we put a pattern into it. For example, some pattern like this, or other types of patterns. So our work would be actually done in this atmosphere. Actually, we together already saw the array option. The array state that we had it before here, and it would come and increase our points in matrix way. We saw that we could change U and V directions. And now here the next command is array polar. And now here I go to the array pillar and I choose it. It asks me about the rotation center. I put it on actually 0, 0. First direction that there's supposed to be some points for me. And the second direction that should be some points in a radius way. Now I come here and I click on 0 and 0 with holding the control and clicking again. I consider the Z direction as the second one. Now here I put Z offset on 0, so we see the output. I shift to the right view. We see that in one direction, I mean U direction, we can consider a number. For example, here I choose 14. It creates numbers of points, and in our actually V direction, we can change the numbers of the rows. For example, I put it on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows we have. We actually put this number on 20. We change the number of U direction from here. And for changing the distance of every one of these rows, we can consider an angle from the angle part. For example, here in the number we have 20. We have 20 raw like this. And then if I want it to be like a 360-degree circle, and I can put number 18 in the angle part. And if I wanted each of these rows with its previous raw, I could go into the Z offset part, and for example, I put number 2. See, something like this would be created, or it could be more like 5. Now here I'll put this on 36 degree, so it would rotate twice. Or I put it on 9, so it would rotate 180 degree. And then it would create such a pattern for us. Look. Or something like, this. Now we don't want to talk about the making patterns. What we want here is to make you familiar with different types of making grid. Okay, let's go to the perspective view. Okay, in perspective part, we talked about the first and second option. The first and second option would create us grids without using any pre-drawn points or lines. The next commands would create us grids using some lines. The first command is extrude along one curve. Okay, as an example, I'll draw a line here. Imagine that I have such a line here, and even it can come up in this point. And then I go to the options and I choose it, and then I select my curve so that the grid that I want would be created. In U method part, we can have number, arc lengths, and chord lengths. That it could be in numbers, for example, like 20. Or based on size, I can change the distance of this bow like this. Or the direct distance of the points. But we now put it on number mode. The next option is the number. How many points should we have, for example, in each point? I put it on 20, for example. And we're going to have 20 instead of 10. I put this as well on 10, so it could be not crowded. The next thing is direction. I mean that I created some points on this line. I mean in which direction these points should be put on the line. So I can click on the direction, this part. I hold Control and I drag it up, and it would be like this. So in the direction, we could change the direction. I mean this green arrow. And U direction follows the line that we gave it to. It's obvious V distance determines the distance between points. For example, 2, and the distance would be double. And I told you that this could be ungroup, and the name, it would be G. That's okay. The next thing is V method, which is now on parallel, and I can put it on polar mode. And it would be changed from low to high according to the angle. I put it on the rotation axis, for example, like this. And we see that here it would be increased degree by degree. We usually put the V method on parallel. And we can keep this grid by right clicking. So then I'm gonna delete this, and let's go to draw the next line. Here I go and select interpolate curve. For example, I say I have a line like this, and the next line would be like this. I select my own control point, and with a bit of changes, and this part gotta be go inside of it, and this point should be like this. I created two lines that with the help of these two lines I wanted to make a grid. Now I go to the options and I'll select it. First line and second line. As you can see, it took out U curve from one line, and it took out V curve from the next. In this part, we can change the number, and we should pay full attention to these points that we have number of span here. It means that here I with choosing 10, I have 10 square and 11 points. So we here see in U number of span and V number of span, we can determine the number of our cells. We also have these numbers in our method, and we have also arc length and chord length as well. Let me first give you an explanation about these two lengths, even though later on we would bring up this discussion again. The next command is divide area of curves. Now here I come and draw a circle, for example. And then I go and select this circle. And for example, with number of 12, and then I array them like this. And then after this, with cage edit tool, I can change a bit the actually size of these circles. So we have some circles here. So I changed these circles so you don't ask this question that why shouldn't array those points. In that case, we just have some points. And in that case, our points are not going to be organized with names and classification. So here we're going to consider these lines, and then we select divide area of curves here. Here I select my lines now, okay, and enter. So as we can see, it creates us some points. Now you see we have just one size here. We have one number, the number of vertical numbers that use our line. The numbers of the openings on each line could be changed from a number of span. For example, 12 or 20. So we can change these numbers. So here, if we have a number of lines, we should have 2 or more than 2 lines. We can create our grids like we did. Okay, as an example, okay, I didn't put the group on yes, so I couldn't select it well. Anyway, we have created our pattern like this. So that's enough. Let me delete this and go for something else. Now I'm gonna draw a line again. Let me draw it and like this. So then I'm going to reflect it with mirror tool, and then with the help of twin curve, and then like like 12 lines I put here. I do the same job in another layer like this, and then like this. Again, twin curve command, and now okay, if you actually pay attention, we could have some points on the intersections. Now we're gonna learn a command that changes the intersection points into a grid. Now we go to the options. We actually select the option to do the job. Now I select the red lines, and I'll choose the black lines a bit later. And as you can see, it selects some points for us based on the intersections of those points. That if I ungroup them, we see that the naming would be done correctly.